everybody. Again, thank you for being here. Going up to Akron this weekend to play a 2 o'clock game up there in their place, a MAC opponent. Last had a chance to play a MAC opponent in the bowl game when we played Toledo. And one thing we know what we've seen Coach Vanella, what he's done with the Akron football team, obviously he's really committed them to being a very physical football team. Familiar with their coaching staff, I've seen them and crossed paths with them before throughout my career. And defensively very stout, have one of the best linebackers, in the MAC conference, as well as one of the more athletic and stout defensive tackle and defensive ends combinations in the MAC and the ones that we've faced so far this year. On offense, they really committed themselves to running the football and getting downhill in the power game and the outside zone game. Their quarterback has been extremely effective. Their running backs are big. They're physical guys, but they can run inside and they can run outside. They use play action really well to get the ball downfield. And certainly the quarterback has been very effective, not only by throwing the football, but with his feet as well. So for us, again, another tremendous challenge and opportunity this coming weekend.
Looks like quite a change then defensively from what you faced the last.
It's a little bit different, but they're versatile. Again, they very experienced coaching staff, so they have had experience with multiple offensive sets and schemes as well. So I think what we all know as the season goes on and on, you prepare all week long to see certain things, but there's always something, a wrinkle, and sometimes a whole new game plan, even by quarter, sometimes by half. So the library that you collect as the season goes on is important as you keep prepping those things. But going to this game, they are a little bit different than what we faced the last couple of weeks, but they're very effective.
Coach, you mentioned that they like to use play action quite a bit. Kind of got 2 scores. Well, Louisiana scored on play action, and so did Duke. So have you been working a little more on play action?
We always work on play action.
Yeah.
We score on play action. Teams around the country are going to see score plenty of points on play action, and it's all tied into whether the running game is working or not, or I should say, it's more effective when the running game is gelling and doing well. So a lot of keys to this game, but you certainly can't just focus on one area. You work on them all. You certainly emphasize the areas that you've been deficient in, that you want to get better, but you always strengthen your strong points as well.
And what have you seen from the running back? He has had 3 straight 100-plus.
Chisholm's a big guy. He's a big guy. He gets downhill in the running game. He runs behind. I'll tell you, their center is about as good as it gets. Athletic guy. He'll back block you and cut you down in a hurry. He'll also get outside on outside zone. Their offensive tackle, their right tackle, is a great football player. He's a very big guy, very physical guy. Gets his hands on you. Rangy, real good in pass protection as well. And what they do is they find ways to create space for Chisholm, and he's done a great job with the football in his hands. He finishes runs really well. It's contact +2, +3, 4 yards sometimes. He breaks arm tackles without a problem. He catches the football very well also. So, again, he's a complete back. And, again, a bigger guy, 215, 220 pounds. It's hard to bring down.
Mario, your last 2 losses, you've gone up against teams that have scored over 30 points. Now, I'm looking at the stats here, Akron has given up 37 points a game, 3 games over 40 points. Is this the kind of game or opponent where it's a little weaker and it allows, especially your offensive unit, to kind of turn things around and shake off the 2 losses?
We don't view it as that, and I don't think you could ever view it as that, as an opponent is weaker or whatnot. We view it as, we've done some real good things this year. Obviously, we're off to the best start in the program's history, but we know we can do better, and that's the part that obviously frustrates, a football team. But at the same time, it also we have a very motivated bunch of guys, both players and coaches, and then we know if we fix and continue to improve on the things that we know we could do better at, we're going to be real good, regardless of who we play. So I think, number one, anytime you walk into a week's worth of work and you prepare for an opponent, it's always about your team first. And then, of course, applying what you do and looking for things on tape schematically to be effective against your opponent. We think they are a real good opponent. They're very physical. They show up on tape against Ohio State, against Cincinnati, doing really, really well in stretches, and they've come up, on the losing end of a couple games that they probably should have been in. So, tremendous amount of respect for them and looking for a real physical ball game.
One thing they do really good besides the running game on offense is Clayton Moore finds his wide receiver Keith Schooners, where he caught 24 catches. Next top receiver has 8 catches. So is there more of a focus on Keith at trying to stop him from getting these catches? Or?
Well, there's a focus on stopping and slowing down their offense, across the board. Whenever there's a good player, you do want to do some things. Schematically, we certainly don't discuss those things, but when a player statistically is like you just mentioned, of course, they always require the attention of your football team as you prepare.
What generally has been your feeling about the play of your secondary, particularly recently?
Hot and cold. Plenty of effort, and plenty of things that we can fix and get better at. Certainly, when something doesn't go well, we take it as a whole and as a team. We got to coach it better, we got to teach it better, we got to play it better, and we got to finish plays. Sometimes deciding the real good protection and having to be out there covering all day, and sometimes we just got to do a better job. And the only way to do that is to work at it, present those scenarios again and again, show the pictures again and again that you're going to be seeing, the route combination, the structure, the way, whether it's 3x1, 2x2, one-man routes, max protection, whatever it may be, make sure that we're getting the reps. And a lot of young guys that are playing, we do have a lot of young guys that are playing in that position, that they continue to get better.
I know the sacks have kind of gone buck, but is there still are you getting pressure?
There's some pressure.
still?
You always want more. Sometimes a sack statistic could be a little bit misleading, because sometimes it's a flush and you trip up a guy or whatnot, or sometimes it's a coverage sack. Do you want more sacks and more pressure? Yes, we do. Do we work at it? Absolutely.
Is there anything new on Grace and Coleman's condition?
Nothing has changed so far. They certainly are getting better. Do we expect them back for this game? As of right now, no. We'll be revalid again on Thursday to see where they're at. 2 very important players for us. But again, that's the season during this time of year. You got to have to deal with that and go forward with your next guys.
You utilize your tight ends a lot against Duke. Just talk about what you liked, what you saw from them, what you liked.
Well, they earned it, and schematically they presented a couple situations where we felt we could expose certain things, and quarterback made a great read, great throw. Tight ends did a good job, getting themselves open, and a couple times caught a contested ball, which gives you more confidence to go there with the football as well. They're both smart, they're both athletic, they could both run, both intermediate stuff and stretch the field. They're very valuable on special teams as well. So you're looking at 2 very complete football players that we need to continue to utilize.
Mario, what do you think you guys need to do to get back on the winning track? What do you guys
We need to get better. We just faced an ACC opponent, BCS conference, and I think it's interesting that, we're at the day and age where, we expect of ourselves, and that's the only expectation that matters, that we keep getting better, finding ways to win. Games that came down to the final possession of the football game, and games that are really 1 or 2 plays away and going in our favor. We got to find a way to create those situations to get better and find a way to finish the football games. We have a good football team with tough guys with a lot of pride that work hard, certainly getting after it and improving in a lot of areas, and we'll find a way to finish games.
You utilized Darius Perry more last Saturday. After Kendrick got so many touches the previous 2 games, what led you to put some more, give Perry some more touches?
Why?
Well, why did you decide to go with Darius more after not really utilizing him too much the last 2
Well, he carried the ball last year a bunch for us, and he carried earlier this year. I think you have to study the amount of plays we had per game. It was the first game that we had over 70 snaps. We had 82 to be precise. And Perry had earned it. He had a real good week of practice. We felt that during this time of year, since you're not scrimmaging, not going live, you have to use there has to be some type of benchmark in terms of how you're going to play these guys. It's a talented backfield. All those guys touched the ball and were productive for us last year. Derek was real good during the course of the week. Kendrick was doing really well. We want to keep playing him as well. I know he was suffering a little bit from cramps, but that wasn't going to determine us playing or not playing Derek. He earned playing time. It ended up being a physical game. We talked about their defensive line, their linebackers up front. We felt tempo was starting to affect them, and we felt that the physical nature of his running game would be effective down the stretch, which I think it was. I think he did a real good job.